I get a lot of spam, but I write a lot of software. So how about we write some machine learning software that's going to be able to recognize the spam that's coming in and delete it so I don't have to deal with it. I'm Josh Whitman, CEO of Whitman Technological. We're going to be building a naive Bayesian classifier. And this is a machine learning algorithm that just says, hey, I've seen stuff like this before, and I've seen stuff like that before, and this looks about 75% like the first one. Now, I'm one to just kind of jump in with both feet and try to figure out what's going on. I like to make a lot of mistakes. I like to just test stuff and see how it works and bump into little roadblocks and do some research to find out how to get through it. The first thing we're going to do here is we're just going to re-implement a Bayesian filter. I created one in the past, so I have a rough idea what we're doing. And I'm just going to hop in there. We're going to build some code. And we're going to start to run it. And as we encounter things that aren't working, I'm just going to go read about it. I'm going to figure it out. And when I have a fully functional Bayesian classifier, then I'll get back with you and we'll talk about what I learned in that process. So here's the code being written. The system's based on taking the subject and the body of emails and pulling out the individual words and then saying, all right, here's a list of all the words I found and how many messages they were found in for spam emails, and then how many messages were good emails where this word was found, and then comparing those numbers between each other. That's how the whole system works. And so here's the details of the math. Now, if we have these two probabilities, but we know the message is either has to be bad or it has to be good. So we can adjust these probabilities out and say the 8% over 8 plus 13 is the actual percent, which equals 31%. So if this has to total up to 100%, then the bad part represents 31% of all the possibility space. Our training set had 2,300 good emails and 17,000 bad emails. And we have a word that was present in 8 good messages and 5 bad messages. The probability that if we find the word that the message that contains that word is spam, is that going to be 5 over 5 plus 8? That 8 out of 2,300 is way stronger than if it was like 8 out of 17,000. So we need to adjust the weight here, so to compare apples to apples. It's not that, it's going to be 5 over 5 plus, and then this will be 8 times 17,000 divided by 2,300. And that will give us the same ratio of weights between word counts. So now if we want to multiply probabilities together, then we take the probability that word 1 is found in spam, and the probability that word 2 means the message is spam, and word 3, and so on, and divide that product by the product of word 1, 2, and 3 plus, and then 1 minus. So this would be the likelihood that it was ham because of word 1, and then ham from word 2, and ham from word 3. So eventually, when we start multiplying these probabilities together for the numerator and for the denominator, we get these extremely small numbers where it's something times 10 to the minus 500. And at that point, we start to have underrun problems with the math on the computer. It just can't deal with numbers that small. So we have this really cool conversion where we turn it into logarithmic space. So in logarithmic space, we can take the probability of ham, subtract the probability of spam. It's the log of these two numbers subtracted from each other. And then we can sum that up across all of our words. So from the first word to the last word. And that gives us this number, like kind of a italic n. And then we end up with the total probability equals 1 over 1 plus e to the n. So then we have a problem where we hit a word that we've never seen before. We've seen a few of them in spam maybe, but we haven't ever seen it in good email. So how do we deal with that? Well, the idea is that there's always some chance that this word is going to get used in either category. So to address that, we always add 1 or add some number. In our case, we add 1 to everything. Wow, that's really cool. So let's take some mail and we'll actually test it and see if the system thinks it's spam. And then if it's wrong and we train on it, how well does it respond? But before we get to that, let's hear a word from our sponsor. This video is made possible by Moneylender Professional. A labor of love since 2004, Moneylender Professional can seamlessly calculate interest and track payments for virtually every type of loan, lease, or contract. Perfect for single users or teams, 3 loans or 1,000. Generate professional, customizable statements and letters, fully auditable, completely configurable. If you have loans, track them with Moneylender Professional. Alright, so let's test out our new filter with just this small training set, 2,200 good emails and almost 18,000 bad ones. So here's a really bad spam, and it's 100% and 100%. Here's a different really bad spam, also 100% and 100%. The odds of beating the casinos, definitely spam, 100%. The best price. Okay, so this one is talking about windows and doors manufacturer. And so there's not a whole lot of information about that. We'll train, and we go from 103 to 179. So yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of information about windows and doors in there. But now the information that's in there points towards spam, which is awesome. Just training on a single email really jumped that up quite a bit. Okay, newest anti-snoring electronic muscle stimulation technology. Yeah, 100% spam. Designer bags increase your value in class. That's definitely spam. Wow, what a handsome. Okay, that's totally spam. Yeah, we don't even want to read those out loud. Some of these are really inappropriate. So it's picking up a lot of spam, which is great. So let's go over to some less spammy stuff. This one is from a local museum. That looks good. The subject's not super happy, but the body is great. This is a thing from Orion. From Amazon saying, hey, you might like this product. That one comes through just fine. This one is from a friend of mine, and that comes through just fine. Here's some more. Yep, also very cool. One more customer support email. That looks really good. You know, honestly, those results are a lot better than I thought they were going to be. the first time I wrote a Bayesian filter, I think I kind of did it pretty wrong because it was nowhere near as responsive as what we're seeing here. And I'm really excited about that. If done properly, machine learning is extremely powerful. On the server, we don't want our spam filter every time we get an email from the mail service. We don't want it to have to read 30,000 emails to figure out what the spam words are and what the ham words are. And then once it's read all of those words into memory, then it looks at the message, says, oh, this looks like spam. And then all this goes away. And then it gets another message and it has to read these and read all these. That's a lot of work, loading and unloading this in memory. So the way we're going to set this up on the server is this is just always going to be running. It's going to have the spam words and ham words already loaded in memory. When a new email comes in, that's going to kick off a little client application. And this application is going to take a header file and an email file, a message file, and it's going to package them up really nicely and send them to the spam filter. The spam filter is going to compare what it sees in the header and the message against the list of words, and it's going to reply back with a yes or a no. Is this spam or not? The only way to get a Windows service actually running is to also build a service installer program. So we have to create a installer that goes along with the Windows service project, and then a separate project which is just this little client app that's going to read and then pass things over. Okay, we know how the math works. We know how it needs to run on the server. It's time to create a production-ready version of the Bayesian filter and then to install it and run it on the server. You know, I had a lot of fun making this video. It was hard work, and there were points where I thought I was done and realized that until it was actually in production and filtering spam in the real world, I wasn't done telling the story of this spam filter. But I'm happy to report that I've had significantly fewer spam emails since I put this out, certainly less than half of what I used to be getting, and that's really exciting. I'm Josh Whitman with Whitman Technological. I love science, and I hope you do too. thumbs up.